Hi everyone, it's your girl Curly Jamaican here with yet another video for you. I did promise that I would come on here every Friday at 11, so I am sticking to my promise. Um, so I am a little late. I am about 13 minutes late, and it's not because I forgot. It's because I was just trying to, get myself a little prepared for the live tonight. But as I've said, I am going to be doing this continuously. Even when I don't feel like doing it, I will be doing it. So um, I am hoping that I will get some viewers tonight. If I don't, I'm just going to keep this live 30 minutes short. And that's really the plan. If I don't get many viewers, I'm not going to, stretch this out too much. I'll just come on here, see what I have to say, and then skedaddle. But if I do get some viewers, then, I'll stay a little longer. So tonight, I actually wanted to discuss why it is that companies will not hire veterans with an OTH discharge. But the first thing I actually looked up was I tried to research was companies that would hire veterans with OTH discharge. Well, I found nothing. I didn't even find any articles. But I did a quick search before I came on here, so maybe what that's probably why I didn't find any information. But when I tell you that I was just looking and looking and I didn't see anything, um, I was I was very disappointed. I was like, wow, we do have companies that announce that they hire felons, but we don't have companies that announce that they hire veterans with an OTH discharge. And this has a lot to do with the stigmatization that I have been harping on this entire time. It has a lot to do with the stigmatization. So I went from that angle of, companies that hire veterans with an OTH discharge to why companies will not hire veterans with an OTH discharge. I was able to come across an article, but I can't access the entire article. I don't know why. Even when I signed up with my email address, I can't access the entire article. But still, the little that I could access, it said a lot of things. Um, okay, so I'm going to put the link. You know me, I'm putting the link so that this website can get credit for what they wrote. And the link is very long. Oh my gosh, it's very long. But I can't even put the link in there. Anyway, it's fortune.com. The article can be found on fortune.com. But the link is too long, and the limit, of course, for the chat is 200 words. So I can't put it on there. Now let's get to what they said about why companies won't hire veterans. They didn't really say specifically why they won't hire veterans with OTH discharge, but we know that a lot of veterans who get an OTH discharge, they suffer from PTSD and they self-medicate, and I think they mentioned something to that effect here. So 3 reasons why companies don't hire veterans. Um, First Lady Michelle Obama has made veterans employment a signature cause. The powerful U.S. Chamber of Commerce is backing a Hiring Our Heroes initiative that holds job fairs and workshops for military veterans. JP Morgan Chase, JPM, is leading a veterans hiring effort with 10 other companies dubbed the 100,000 Jobs Mission. Now, this was written back in 2013. Against this backdrop, why does the unemployment rate for post 9/11 veterans continue to outpace the general unemployment rate by several percentage points? Most recently, it hit 10% as compared with 6.8% among non veterans for the month of October. This is a high level, big challenge that affects a large number of men and women in uniform and their spouses, says Eric Eversole, a retired Navy JAG reservist and executive director of the Chamber's Hiring Our Heroes program. There's a multitude of factors that impact our military service members and the veteran community. And the first thing that they've mentioned here is stereotype. Now, I can't unfortunately access the rest of this, which is crazy, like I said, because I signed up. But yeah, the first thing they said is a stereotype. And, the fact that they believe that a lot of veterans suffer from PTSD, and this is just what they consider to be. They consider this to be a liability, right? And that's why a lot of companies don't don't hire veterans, and I suppose by extension they won't hire veterans with an OTH. First are the assumptions and stereotypes about members of the military that make some employers reluctant to hire them. About 1 in 3 employers consider post-traumatic stress disorder to be an impediment to hiring a veteran, according to a survey reported by the Society of Human Resource Management. So, yep, that's kind of why they won't hire veterans in general. And I guess when you have a stain on your military resume, that makes it worse. But I think um, well, if companies are willing to hire people who have committed crime, then there definitely should be an effort to hire people with an OTH discharge, right? There should be an initiative for that because of the fact that everyone has to survive. Everyone has to have an opportunity to survive. But I completely get the fear that if you hire someone with PTSD, a veteran of PTSD, that it might end. You're worried about it ending badly for your organization or whatever. And we've had those horror stories where veterans have actually, and this might be due to the fact that they haven't received mental health care, but we've heard instances where veterans, they have had episodes, and they've turned on the employees that they work with. Um, to be honest with you, this is not something that is a common occurrence. Like I've heard, just checking my Rolodex, I can vaguely think of about 3 or 4 incidents where that has happened. This is not something that is extremely common, but maybe I should just check the stats on that. But even so, this still, creates this fear for employers. And that's really, really sad, because if veterans are able to get the mental health care that they need, then this gives them the help that they can. This helps them to navigate, civilian life, their work, their relationships, things like that. So we should have a better understanding. In my opinion, we should have a better understanding of how to assist our veterans through the PTSD, and to assist them to adjust to the civilian life. Um, and it's important that we don't use PTSD as an excuse to not hire veterans, especially um, those with OTH discharges. There's another article that I came across. Let's see. Hmm. There's another article I came across, and this. the number one reason that they have listed here. Oh man, I really hope that okay. This is www.military.com. The hiring manager didn't speak veteran. What does that mean? Veterans learn to speak the lingo of the jobs they have within the branches they serve. Military members and veterans alike can tell you that cross-discipline jargon and even language between branches of the military often involves terms that are unfamiliar to outsiders. In this instance, the HR professional didn't understand the vernacular on the veteran's resume and wasn't able to translate the skills. Well, that sounds, I don't know, that sounds so weak. You can't ask questions. You don't understand what it is, what the skill set is on the resume, so you can't like probe and ask questions as to what it is. I don't know. That sounds very weak to me. Um Hiring managers have to look through hundreds and maybe even thousands of resumes to fill a position with a qualified candidate. The bar of tossing a resume aside becomes very low, and it's on the vet to be able to translate his or her skills to the civilian world. Well, you know what? I'm going to say that too. I'm going to agree with that because honestly, my first thought was, um, well, if you're in adjusting to the civilian world, you kind of have to make it easier for civilians, right? So the language that you use in the military, clearly, unless it's like a security job or whatever that you're trying to get, clearly you have to kind of simplify it for managers, for hiring managers. So I don't really understand why that would be a problem for the hiring manager or for the veteran. I, the communication issues there. I can't really see how that is a problem if you're both sitting there and can, or yeah, if you're both in there and can actually ask questions and answer questions. A and B, when you're actually preparing your resume, you can, I don't know, rephrase, reterm some of the skills and experience that you're going to list on there. I remember when my friend, he was creating his resume. Um, First and foremost, he didn't want to put the fact that he was in the military on the resume for the fact that he had the OTH discharge, and he didn't want to flag his resume for that, his application for that. So he did not want to include that on his resume. However, if he did include it on his resume, he would keep that that experience section. He would simplify what he was required to do, his duties in the military. Like he would simplify that. He was a PM, a police military. No, I'm sorry, an MP, military police. My bad. So he was a military police, which involved securing bases, things like that. And I mean, those are terms that we regular civilian people can understand. So I'm not really sure why veterans would overcomplicate their resume by putting unfamiliar jargon on the resume. Just, if they're looking for a job in the civilian world, that definitely has to be simplified. So I don't really see that as a major issue. The veteran doesn't want to start over. What? Separating veterans need to understand that this is what they will essentially be doing when they cross over. While they may not start with an entry level position based on their education and experience, they certainly won't be able to just walk into a similar level in a related field. Oh, like if they had a high rank in the military. While they're in the military, they don't want to come out and start at entry level or a lower rank in a regular job. Oh, I get that. Oh. Well, yikes. And these are like just regular veterans. These are not even veterans with an OTH discharge. I think you just have to swallow your pride on that if you're trying to feed your family, and then work yourself up to the level that you want in that company. The third reason is the hiring manager didn't know what a veteran can bring. You see, now let me add to that, right? I remember someone leaving in the comment section that, okay, you don't have to get a government job. If you have an OTH, you can actually try and get other jobs, right? That's what the person said. If you have an OTH discharge, you can try to get other jobs that doesn't require that skill set, or that won't have the employer, not hiring you based on the fact that you have an OTH, which any company does that. Any company does that. So, that was sort of like a very shallow comment to me, because it doesn't matter if it's not a security company or if it's an accounting company. If they are already reluctant to hire veterans because they're worried about that veteran having PTSD. Imagine when they do find out that you have an OTH, they're just completely turned off from that. So it doesn't even matter, right? But they made that statement to say that's a way to circumvent the fact that they won't hire you because of your OTH. Don't seek government jobs, or don't seek jobs that are, security based jobs, or security level jobs, or jobs that require clearance, security clearance, all of that. Well, this just put a damper on that. This explanation right here. The hiring manager didn't know what a veteran can bring. Right? That is why a lot of veterans with OTH or even without OTH will try to get a job in security, because at that point the hiring manager knows exactly what the veteran can bring, because they're coming from that background. So a lot of military personnel, once they are discharged, they'll become police officers. They'll become high-level security guards. They'll become security, armed, unarmed security. They will stick to that field, A, because they have the experience there, and B, because those companies understand what a veteran will bring to the table. They completely get it. If that is the field. Now you have veterans that they were in IT, or veterans that were in the like in the medical field of the military branch that they're in. And so at that point, it's specific, so they can definitely slide into a field like that when they start working the civilian world. They can go work in IT, or they can work at a hospital, whatever. But in general, if they were soldiers, Marines, National Guard, all of that, right? If they were that kind of gray area, then a lot of hiring managers they're unsure of how to kind of place veterans, in certain positions. And that's why the veteran themselves will seek out jobs that they think fit their skill set. And in my experience with my friend, it was actually security. That's the field that he would, he could adjust to, or settle in without a problem. He could settle into those positions seamlessly. Yet, a lot of those security jobs, they wanted you to have security clearance, or when they did the background check and you ended up with and they realized that you have an OTH discharge, it was a no-go. They didn't want to hire you. So clearly, that is a problem. The resume was too long. Shorten your resume. knowing what they want. One of the most common questions newly separated personnel face is the ever present, what do you want to do? Ask friends, they actually have fiends here, but ask friends and mentors for advice, speculate on your skills, or give a long list of your passions. Again, when veterans, they are discharged and they have to adjust or readjust to the civilian world, a lot of them will gravitate towards jobs that fit their skill set while they were in the military. You know, they will. So, can you imagine being a veteran and it's difficult to get a job? Imagine what it's like being a veteran with an OTH trying to get a job. So for all you people out there that are like, oh well, you don't have to work for the government or you don't have to work in security, trust me. Trust me. I remember when my friend, he actually tried to work as some kind of asset. What was that position? Asset acquisition position. Um, might be remembering it wrong, but it seems like it was asset acquisition. And they said that they were going to train him. They put him in a cubicle, and they were telling him what to say. And when I tell you that he was willing, the heart was willing, but it was just something that he was like a fish out of water. You know, it's like, okay, in my opinion, it's like being um being a writer, or being okay, it's like being a fisherman and being told that, and being told that, okay, if you can't get a job as a fisherman, go and be an accountant. But let's do something even simpler. It's like being a fisherman and then being told that you need to, if you can't be a fisherman, then go work with computers, right? And computers, like, is something that most people today, most people are computer literate. But not saying that fishermen aren't computer literate. Please don't take that away from what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if you are an experienced fisherman and being told to go sit and adjust to a job where all you do is sit in front of a computer every day, trying to type more than 60 words per minute, stuff like that, you're going to have a very hard time adjusting, even if it's something that you're willing to do, right? So that's definitely something that we need to think about. That's definitely something we need to think about, because it's not easy. You're not going to, in most cases, you're not going to be able to hold on to that job if you are not performing at the level that they want you to perform, because you're at a disadvantage, right? Because this is not the field that you're most comfortable in. So when folks are out here talking about, you know, just try and get another job if you can't get this job with an OTH discharge. Come on, no, it's like it's not that black and white. It's not that black and white. The next thing that they said on here is, oh, that's it, and this is five real reasons why companies have refused to hire a veteran. So that's those are the reasons. Pretty pretty crazy, pretty crazy. So I'm at the 24-minute mark, and I am not seeing anyone on here. I saw one person. They came in and then they left, and that's like always happening. And I don't know why they won't stay, but they came in and then they left. So, but at least I am here. I am here, and I can't wait. I can't wait for that moment when I have my chat is filled with a whole bunch of veterans just talking about the topic that I've chosen. I can't wait for that. Um, there was one more article that I wanted to it caught my attention, and oh my goodness, why are these? Why can't you can't read any of these articles nowadays without subscribing or having to pay money. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Anyway, so one thing I don't want to do is virtue signal. I don't want to virtue signal I don't want to virtue signal when it comes to hiring veterans. I really don't want to do that. I completely get why a lot of companies would just want to save themselves the headache and the problems, right? I completely get why it's just better to not risk something than to risk it, right? But at the same time, we're not helping the situation when we flat out refuse to hire veterans with OTH discharge. We're not. So the government won't hire them, and then the private sector won't hire them, and so we have unemployed veterans out here with PTSD, with depression issues, suicidal things like that, because they can't sustain themselves because of the stigma of that OTH discharge. And I know a lot of people are going to say things like, well, don't get it in the first place, but a person that doesn't understand the nuances and the bureaucracy and the politics and all of that that kind of statement can easily slip off their tongue because they don't get it. They don't get it. In some cases, an OTH might be deserving, but in a lot of cases, like I've said before, when you check how that veteran was discharged, why they received it, how unfair it was, the fact that a lot of them didn't even get representation at their hearing. It was just like a good riddance process. Like, okay, you messed up, we're just getting rid of you. Things like that. When you think about all of that, you will think twice about making such a statement. So, yeah, we are definitely not helping. Now, I want companies that actually do hire veterans, whether they have an OTH discharge or not, whether they have a general discharge or not. I want those companies, if you actually watch this video, to leave a comment in the comment section letting us know, if you hire veterans with OTH or veterans in general. And even if you're not an employer, even if you just know companies that do hire veterans, just give us the state and give us the company so that we can help veterans who are actually looking for jobs, seeking employment, to sustain themselves. You know, so the last video that I did, it got about 24 views within a week. 24 views, and that's a small number. Just to let you guys know how small like my viewership is. Not, my videos aren't really getting out like that. But if you can share, if you can leave helpful tips, helpful comments, things like that in the comment section, I would really, really appreciate it. Guys, I'm going to do the same thing again next week, Friday. I am going to be on here around 11ish, talking about another topic. But like I said, I keep repeating myself because I never know if you guys see or have seen the previous video. I never know, so I just go ahead and repeat myself for the heck of it. But these topics that I choose is merely just to get the conversation started. We will talk about any and everything as long as you're here. Okay? All right, so I'm at the 30-minute mark. No one is here, so I'm going to just go ahead and end the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Please, I am begging you guys. I don't want to be begging on the internet, but I'm begging you guys. Share what you know. Share what you know. A lot of my videos, they actually have people, asking questions. I did see like one or two people actually making suggestions about, who will help what who will help who in who will help veterans in certain circumstances, whatever. Keep doing that. Keep doing that, guys. All right. I will see you guys next week, Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous rest of your weekend. Bye.